It started actually quite cliché with an article in the newspaper. It was a very short article with a picture of a very good-looking robot girl, and it said something like there was a team from a university in Holland which on short term was going to do a test with robots and real humans, and these real humans turned out to be very old women. And when I read it, I had this very uncomfortable feeling. Like I was like, what do they want with these women? You know, I had all these negative associations with putting a robot into a house with elderly women. And actually, I thought that was quite interesting because, I mean, it's a very nice-looking robot, and you know, I was like, why am I so reacting to such a small article? You know, what is that? So that's when I started to research this team of researchers, and I just called them and said, hey, can I come by? And they were very open and said, come over, and well, that's pretty much where it started. The thing was that there was in the newspapers in Holland, I don't know about Switzerland, but there was a lot of things being written about the future of robots in healthcare. And those articles were always very black-white. You know, there were people who were very much saying this is the future, and other ones people we don't want it. But those were always like people who are working in healthcare, or they were scientists, or they were the family of the people who are getting a robot in the house. But never the actual people who had to deal with the robot, the elderly women. So I was like, okay, then at least see if, you know, give the robot an honest chance and see how she will do, and let the old ladies decide if they want to have a robot or not. And that's pretty much what the film was about. Another personal motivation was that while I was researching it, my father died from ALS. This is like a neural disease, and he became very ill, and he had to. My mother took care of him, and at some point she couldn't take care of him anymore because he was too heavy and had to be washed. So every day there would become different people in his house, and they would undress him and shower him, and he felt. He had to be social, and they were talking to him, and every time he felt very uncomfortable and had the feeling he would be exhausted at the end of when they bathed him. And after 2 months, he just asked my mother, please send them away, I don't want them anymore. And I think for my father, a robot would have been, at least for the practical part, or for the washing and stuff like that, I think a robot would have been a perfect solution. I think he would really have been happy with a robot next to him. I think it was very much for the subject. Actually, the material I had to work with were two different types. One was the point of view from the robot, which is about 1/3 of the movie. So I had no control on that, and I knew I would really want to use it, but I couldn't control it. So that's pretty much well what they gave me. The other part was the stuff I shot myself, or my cameraman, and there I thought it was very important that the women were not aware of us filming. Of course, we were told, and I mean, if they looked aside, they could see us. But we always made sure that the camera was not in the way that they could see us. So we made a track of about 4 meters on low tripods. Then the camera could move around without making sound. And so we could always adjust the camera, and they would not really. Of course, they sometimes noticed us, but mostly of the time we could just pretty much. Well, like be an actual fly on the wall, and yeah.
In 2024 hebben wij 4 keer zoveel 80-jarigen als dat we nu hebben. 3/4 van de mensen van 80 heeft iets waardoor je zorg nodig hebt.
Hallo, ik ben Alice.
Kan je me goed verstaan?
Jazeker. U vertelde me over uw zoon.